Right then, we are live. We should have sound. I'm actually using my new webcam mic. I have got a new webcam, so the resolution might look a little bit better. I'm not promising miracles, but it might look a little bit better. YouTube is telling me the stream is good, so that's always good. I have played around with a few of the settings since last week, but I didn't play around with them too much, so it should be okay. I'm not promising perfect, it might be a bit laggy or whatever. I don't know whether that's due to my internet rather than OBS. I'm not sure. But anyway, hopefully it'll be a bit better today. And as I say, I've got my new webcam, so the resolution should look a little bit clearer as well. So, yeah, I didn't put a topic today. I have literally just got the event set up. I didn't think I'd be able to do it in time because my grandma and granddad were here actually, and I've just been having a chat with them, and I didn't want to rush them or anything, so I didn't know whether I'd actually get on in time, but I managed to do it. And yeah, we're here. It's gonna turn 1 o'clock any second now. So yeah, this is Thursday Talks. As I say, I've not wrote a topic down on the title. Although last week I rambled so much, I didn't even cover the topic I had last week. So maybe we could cover emotions in reselling this week because, as I say, I don't even think I touched on the topic. So, yeah, I'll just quickly look at the chat, make sure everything's okay, make sure the stream's okay, and see who's in as well. So we've got even video has improved. What is that? No sound. What are you on about? Oh, sound quite low. One sec. One sec. Oh, there's not a lot I can do about that. Properties. I can put my other webcam in, but that's the only thing I can really do, and that's going to make a buzzing noise, I think, so. Right. Oh, I'm going to have to. Bloody hell. Let's see if I can do this. The thing is, I'm using this mic on the webcam, so I don't know how, I wasn't sure how well the sound would come off. Let me get some scissors. I tell you, it's crazy how. Oh, I know. No, I don't even need my mic. I could put the. What about this one here? Is that better? And then remove that one. Is that any better, or is that still the same? I'm just gonna go on properties. Default. I don't know. Desktop audio. Can't get my desktop audio up. One sec. Add audio. Input capture. Okay. No, that's just saying default. Anyway, you might have to suffer with a bit of low audio for a while. Ooh, don't want that. Don't want two on. Right, you might have to suffer for low audio for this one. Oh, good sound. Someone's saying good sound. Other people are saying no sound. Other people are saying low sound. I don't even know. But I know that if I put this mic in, it's not going to do very well. It's going to make that buzzing noise. So I am going to get a Yeti at some point, as I mentioned. Oh, bloody hell, George! George was joking. He said no sound when he put, I was only joking. Oh, for God's sake. Right. I've just gone in the other room. I just got scissors. For God's sake. Anyway, let's get on with let's get on with the stream now. So, what have I got to talk about? Emotions in reselling. We'll actually start with that. So, as I mentioned last week, David McGregor gave me this sort of idea for the topic, and I just wanted to sort of talk a little bit about emotions in reselling and in business. So, whether it's a good idea to actually put feeling into business, put emotion into business or reselling. Is it a good idea? In my opinion, is it a good idea? In your opinion, in the chat, is it a good idea? Personally, I think there's times where it's good and there's times where it's bad. So, for example, in reselling, if we start off with reselling, we relate to actual reselling because that's what we all are, or most of us watching this will be resellers. In terms of when you're doing a deal, when you're maybe not necessarily when you're at the car boot, picking up something for £1 or £2 or £5 or £10, but when you're making a bigger deal, maybe £500, £1,000, whatever it may be, is emotion of any level good in that circumstance? If you think that maybe you have got a little bit of a poker face and you're not showing any emotion, is that better than maybe putting all your cards on the table, being very emotive, showing a lot of emotive language and a lot of maybe triggers that the other person will be able to capitalize on? I don't feel that that is particularly the best. I don't feel that, if you're emotional in that particular moment, that is going to help you. I actually think that's going to harm you in that deal. So I think personally with, reselling, with doing bigger deals, with doing business deals specifically, I don't think emotion should come into it. I think it should be, about the actual deal, about the business deal. And again, you've got to get to a point where you've got to have some emotion in it. Like both people who are doing the deal, at the end of the day, they need to walk away from the deal feeling that they've got a good deal or they've been happy with that, thing they've set up, that price they've negotiated. But at the same time, while you're doing the deal, I think it's important to stay quite grounded, quite maybe firm but fair. Don't let emotion come into it. Look at the profit margin. Is it a good profit margin or isn't it? Because you might think to yourself, well, it's close to a good profit margin. I mean, I've done this before. It's close to a good profit margin, I think, and then you think to yourself, but I really like the items. I really like the items I've got, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I could just pay a little bit extra just to get those items and sell them on. And that's fair enough if you want to pay a little bit more and deal with some items you like, and if they're fast sellers, then that's another story. But at the end of the day, you've got to think to yourself, you've got to set a limit. You've got to think to yourself, right, I've not got to let my emotion get the better of me in this situation and just have to maybe turn down the deal if it's not if it's not the profit margin isn't there, or you walk away for a little bit and then we establish a deal maybe the same day, maybe the same hour, maybe a few weeks later, whatever. But I think that it is important in those situations to limit your emotion and be more in control and be more focused on the profit margins and the level of margin that you're going to get, and also the items. What sort of items is it? Is it easier items to deal with? Speaking quite logically, is it easy items to deal with? Is it harder items to deal with? And that obviously factors into profit, because if it's harder items to deal with, then you've got to logically factor that into your profit, thinking, well, I'm going to have to spend more time on this to be able to basically get the money I'm going to get. And if you're going to spend more time on it, you need a bigger margin, because the time that you're factoring in, it's not going to be worth as much if you're working on that smaller margin for harder items to list. Whereas if it's easier items to list, you might be able to work, or easier items to list and sell and package, then you might be able to work on a little bit of a smaller margin. But again, you've got to think about this both logically and not, unemotively, if that's even a word, I'm not sure. But that's why I feel in terms of business deals, things like that. Now, there's another side to it. If you have staff or you have, you have employees or things like that, whether it be in reselling, whether it be in a different form of business, should you be emotive in certain staff situations? And I believe the answer is yes. But at the same time, you've got to be a leader. So, for example, if it's an emergency situation, or if it is maybe not an emergency situation, but maybe someone's pregnant, or maybe someone's, I don't know, it's just something that requires a little bit of human feeling, a problem or an experience from a staff member actually requires a little bit of human feeling and a little bit of emotion in that, in that business. Then I feel that that needs to happen. I feel like there does need to a little bit of emotion does need to creep into business in that sense. Whether you're the manager and they're the employee, or you're the employee and they're the manager, I think there needs to be some sort of emotive relationship there. Certainly, even in the day to day, but also in certain situations, it needs to be somewhat emotive in that sense, because sometimes human feeling does need to come into it. Sometimes the situation demands that. So in that sense, I think yes, emotion can come into business. So I think really emotions in business, it's divided, and that's what I feel. I think that sometimes it's needed and sometimes it's fine to have emotion in business, and then other times, other situations, you need to be less emotive. You need to be all about the business. You need to be focused on the logic, the margins, the numbers, all that sort of stuff. But I won't ramble anymore. I'll go into the chat and see what everyone else is saying. Um, right then. Ads ramble, Southwest. Right, listing done, lunch eaten, what's next? Southwest Seller says. Gary's in the chat. Hi there, Gary. Just realised that I missed lunch, lol. Off to get some. Hey, that's a good. I've heard a few people say that if you're working too hard but you miss lunch, that's kind of a good thing, because you're obviously working too hard or something. But I mean, it's something like that. But I've heard a few people talk about that. If if you actually forget to eat, and you're working quite hard, or maybe you just forget to eat. But I don't know. Right, we'll just go up the chat. Oh, Phoebe's in. Hi there, Phoebe. I've not even done really many shout outs. So Jason's in. Oh, I thought you were back at work, Jason. Nice to have you in anyway. Jason's in. Finch Fashion Plus. Phoebe is in. Sib K's in. Peter Way's in. Southwest Sellers. All the usual people. Now, I haven't got the chat up next to me. I'll just check where I am on OBS to see if I'm actually in the frame. Yeah, I haven't got like the chat up next to me, whichever way it would be, because of this top chat replay that YouTube are doing now. So I think you can actually access the chat after the live stream. So I just wanted to, I should have said that a couple of weeks ago actually, but that's why I've not got the chat thing next to me anymore. So if you're watching this back, you should be able to actually access the chat replay. But yeah, so plenty of people in. I'll just quickly go up. Is anyone else like me and a bit too hard trying to place the seller, and therefore paying too much when I should be walking away? Trying to play this? Do you mean place or play? Oh, please the seller. Oh, yeah. So is anyone else like me and a bit too hard trying to please the seller, and therefore paying too much when we should be walking away? Exactly. And I will put my hands up, and I've done it before. I have done deals like that maybe aren't as profitable as maybe I should be. Maybe the profitability isn't as much as maybe it should be for maybe other people, or it should be for me. So and it is maybe one respect it's trying to please the seller. One respect it is a little bit of emotion coming in for the actual items you're picking up, because you want to you might really just want those items. It might be some vintage video games, it might be some high-end antiques, whatever your thing is, it doesn't matter. Or whether high-end clothing or something, and you really want those items. So between that and then trying to negotiate and trying to make the seller happy, you kind of pay up a little bit. So yeah, I relate to that, and I have done that. So long note, they try to smart reselling's in the chat. I'll just see if I can't see any more questions. His hands do not match the speech. It's probably a bit laggy. That's maybe what it is. Southwest says, if you haven't clocked on, his hands are doing British Sign Language. British Sign Language. Right then. Light travels faster than sound. Oh my god. Right then. Where are we up the chat? Right, I think that's it for going up the chat. So I'm now actually going down the chat, which is always good. Can never seem to get everyone's question. Right then. Love ads, just give him a subject and he goes. I start filming myself and forget what I'm saying half the time. Well, I've always been like that. I can just a lot of subjects I can just talk about. I mean, sometimes it's nonsense. I mean, if a subject I really don't know about, it can be real nonsense, but I can just talk about it because I can just think to myself, right, what's the subject? And if I don't know anything about the subject, what do I know about that is very close to the subject, and then how can I kind of link it in? That's how my brain works. So that's how I can go from talking about reselling to talk about aliens to talk about space exploration to talking about animals or whatever, and mix it all up because I make these connections and these links between subjects. And I think that everything in the world, in a way, is all these different subjects are interlinked. I mean, you can link maths with football because football is just like angles and things like that. So you can link the actual maths of it to the angles that players are shooting in the goals and stuff like that. So maths and football is linked, and all these different. It's very interesting when you when you can see the links like that. It's very cool. It's like having a little it's like having a little board in your mind, and then you're writing it all down. It's all interlinking, and you're like, oh yeah, this is so cool. And that's how I've always kind of learnt things. Like I picture it in my mind, and there's all these different things linking into each other, and I think to myself, oh well, actually was that was something that happened in 1684 or whatever, and something similar has been happening in this date in history. And then you actually find on more research that they were actually linked in some sort of way, and it's very interesting, very interesting. And that's why I love Doctor Who, obviously, because it's all these different links coming in, and I know it's science fiction, but it that's why I like, because there's all these different time links, going on throughout history. It's really, really, really cool. Um, right then, I'll just quickly go. Ad's got someone pregnant. Hard to hear correctly. No, I haven't got anyone pregnant, for God's sake. Oh my God. It's called flow. I think where you are engrossed in what you are doing, you forget everything else. I'm constantly searching for it. Yeah, I mean, I've been having a lot more flow with my actually sorting of stock. So when I'm sorting stock now, I have changed over to doing it in bulk. I went off the advice of Ryan, who I think Ryan's in the chat, doing it yourself lifestyle, and obviously David McGregor as well. He does, sort of doing things in bulk, sorting things in bulk. And I kind of took their advice a little bit, and I've been doing this for a few weeks, well, probably a couple of months now, on and off. But the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks, I've been doing it more religiously. Like I've been getting into more of a routine with it. And what I do basically is, because I get these big auction job lots in, and I get boxes of stuff, is I'll bring a few boxes home from my lockup, and then I'll have about 3 empty boxes, and then I'll put like one will just be for charity shop stuff or whatever, or tips. Might have one for charity shop, one for tip or something, and then I'll have like one for stuff that I am gonna definitely photograph. So then I'll have like sometimes I'll do it on my bed, sometimes I'll do it in here, and then I'll sort it all into things that just can be photographed or whatever. And then I might have one for testing or for cleaning. And then what I do is, once I've sorted through like 3, 4, 5 boxes of stuff, and I've got a nice chunk of items in one box to actually to actually photograph. Then, and I've got one for cleaning and testing. What I will then do is not photograph all these, but clean and test the ones that need to be cleaned and tested. That gives me even more items to photograph. And by this time, I might have 50, 60, 70 items to photograph. And really, I want to try and step it up so I'm doing even more at a time. So my goal next week is to try and step it up a little bit and bring back even more boxes and do it on a bigger scale. But then I'll clean and test that. Then I've got 2, 3, 4 boxes worth of stuff, worth of items, to then just whack on a photograph area, photograph them all, maybe spend 2, 3 hours, something like that, photographing, depends on the ease of the items I need to photograph. And then I just whack them back in the boxes, make sure they're somewhat in some order. If there's ceramics in there, I like to separate them with a little bit of bubble wrap and stuff. And then that's my photography done, and I might have photographed 50, 60 items or whatever, and then I just burn through them over the next few days. And that way I'm actually really finding that I'm so much more motivated to list, because I've got all my photographs done, and I'm like, right, I can do 10 items today if I want, because normally, like, I'll say to myself, right, I'll just do 10 items. But what I'm saying to myself more often now is like, well, why do I want to limit myself to 10 items? I've got 70 photos on my phone. I might as well do 20. So more often than not, I'm doing like 15, 20 listings a day on some days. Not every day. I'm not a miracle worker or anything, but some days I'll do 15, 20, other days I might do 10, other days might be 17, 12, whatever. Some days might even be more than 20 if I can manage it. But like doing it that way gives me more motivation to actually list the items that I've got on my phone with the photos. And I think that if I just step it up even further and really get into the swing of the process, I can then be doing more listings a week because I'll slowly gain more motivation to do it because I'm going bigger and bigger. And then what I'll do is I'll reach a ceiling where I'm going to be sort of burning out, or I'm going to be feeling like I'm going to be burnt out over a period of a week or whatever. So I don't want to reach that ceiling completely. I want to kind of tone it down a little bit to just below that ceiling so that then I can sustain it for a long period of time. But I certainly think doing it this way, the way I've been more religiously doing it over the last 3 or 4 weeks, is definitely helping. So that's kind of a new process I've had, and it really does help with my flow, actually, like you mentioned. And flow is very hard to get, actually, and processes and stuff like that. They're hard to define and to keep to and to stick to routine. And I really do like this one at the moment. I mean, things with me is I swap and change. I try out different ways of doing things all the time. So, I've listed on PC for a while, and then I went to my phone. I've been on listing on my phone for quite a while now. And I've swapped and changed the way I sort things and the items I pick up and all these different things I've swapped and changed, and that's how I like to do things. But certainly this new process I've got, I'm really enjoying, and it's really, really helping my motivation. So yeah, anyway, we'll just quickly go down the chat. What's that? I heard someone beeping or something. Car blooming horn or something's going off. Right then. Question 4. What's everyone's Achilles heel bottleneck? Is it sourcing, listing, photography, dispatching? I have to say it's not so much listing anymore as it is with photography for me. And the only reason it is photography is because I'm doing so many in one go. But once I get started, I really enjoy it. Like, I think to myself, oh, I'll just put off photography for another couple of hours, and then I'll actually do it and get the ball rolling. But what I always find is when I put it off for a couple of hours, it becomes harder to do and harder to start. But then once I start it and I get into a rhythm, I love it. I can be in there photographing for ages. I absolutely love it. But it's just starting with it. And again, you could say that's on par with listing because I do struggle with actually starting to list, getting that first item of the day up, and then, then I've got the ball rolling. But it's like now I'm doing a lot more listings in the morning. I wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then I'll list straight away. So I'll be, in bed, I'll be listing on my phone. So that then takes that out of the mix really, because I think to myself, right, as soon as I get up, turn my phone on. Yes, I do turn my phone off overnight, by the way. Because I don't know, I've just always turned my phone off overnight. I don't like the light, popping up and stuff. I know a lot of people will think that's really weird because most people keep the phone on overnight, especially people my age. But yeah, so I turn my phone on, and then I do my first listing, and then that's that out the way. I've started then. So basically, throughout the day, if I want to list whenever, then I can just list, and I don't feel like it's as hard to start again because I've already started listing in the morning. So I've already made that little bit of headway. So normally I try for between 5 and 10 items in a morning. This morning I did, I think it was 8. I was trying for 5 just to get, because as I say, when I'm listing in the morning, it's just to get the ball rolling a little bit. So I tried for 5, and I actually did 8 because I felt a bit more like it and I was getting into it. So now, like, I've just done a load of photography this morning before my grandparents came. I've probably got about 40 items or something like that. And now I might do 12 items or 13 items or maybe even more tonight. So then I'm thinking, right, that'll be over 20 done today. So, and it feels this way, like I'm breaking it up. I'm breaking the work up of the day. Again, with the photography, doing it in bulk, it feels nice because then I don't have to do photography for another couple of days or 3 days. And as I say, if I can do more like 100 items in one go, next week, if I try for that, then it means I don't have to photograph for 5 or 6 days. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so my bottleneck would be photography slash listing, but maybe a little bit more photography these days than listing because I list in the morning. Um, Right then, Hitman UK says listing SibK is his bottleneck. My bottleneck is procrastination. Adam Kelsey says, yeah, definitely. That is a really outside the box thinking answer there because, yeah, I suffer with procrastination, sitting down, watching a bit of YouTube, that sort of stuff. But I try nowadays to give myself a little bit of a break in middle of the day, 3 o'clock, that sort of time. I'll sit down, cup of tea or whatever, and then I will have a little bit of a break because what I've got to think is if I was at a 9 to 5 job, I would be having a break at like 2, 3 o'clock. That would be about break time. You might have a mid morning break as well. So I've got to allow myself that. I can't not have that. Just because I'm self-employed, it doesn't mean I work 24/7. I've got to allow myself those little breaks. So yeah, but I do struggle with procrastination. I mean, sometimes in the morning I might have my breakfast and then I might sit on YouTube for another 20 minutes, half an hour, when really I should be getting on and doing a little bit more work. But yeah, that is a good answer actually. So where are we? Oh, Andy Robinson watching ads, okay. Yeah, that is definitely a bottleneck. Yeah, I mean, if you go down a rabbit hole with me and watch one of my streams, oh my god, you won't be able to work for the rest of the day. You'll be totally confused and out of it. Right then, where are we here? Let's see what else is going on. Um, Oh, chat's jumped again. One sec. What should I sort next? How should I do that? I really need that thing to do that properly. Blah blah blah. Oh god. Um. Oh no, I'm not answering that one, SibK. I'm not answering. Has Q4 blooming changed again? Um, Badge. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Peter's got it. Badge ads. What's up with the badge? Can anyone make out what the badge says? Because I've put a little bit of a hidden Easter egg in this video. And Peter Ray, as far as I know, I've not been up the chat completely, but Peter Ray seems to be the only one that's cottoned on so far. So I've just said it there, so everyone should cotton on now. But can anyone actually read what it says on the badge? Because that will give you a little bit of a hint to what is coming tonight in tonight's video, which is going to be a very exciting video. Well, I say very exciting, it's just a vlog really, but it was very exciting for me, and I hope that you will share my excitement with what I was getting up to on Tuesday. It's not a particularly long video. I only managed to grab bits and bobs of footage really. But yeah, cool little video. And also, I've got a little interview coming out as well at some point next week. I've not edited it. It's still on my little hard drive here, so I need to edit that. But yeah, yeah. So I'm glad someone's actually spotted that, Peter. That was really good, good eye there. Oh yeah, so John spotted it as well. Great badge. I'm assuming people can see what it says, so you should be able to see straight away. Here we go. Someone's got it. Someone's got it. I don't know who got it first, but SibK's got it. Yeah, I think it was just SibK got it for now. Yeah, but a few people oh yeah, yeah, SibK. Um, I have met some Welsh sellers to boost my views. So I have not met them to boost views or so. I have not done that. Will it help boost my views on one of my videos? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it'll get 600 to 1,000 views. That's what I'm kind of expecting in the first 24 to 48 hours. But did I do it to boost views? Did I do it to boost views? It's just a happy coincidence that it might boost views a little bit. And it's something called collaboration, which is very, very good on YouTube. So yeah, ads, just like Tom from Forge. Yes, yeah, very true, Peter. Right, well, just quickly, I have mounts I'm gonna do. Right, I'll just quickly go up the chat because we've not got any questions further down the chat. So, Jason also says got to go back to work. Oh, so you are at work, Jason. That answers my question actually. Right, I think that's all the questions. Yeah, it looks like Z did it last night on Bonafide Hustler's channel on a coffee machine. Went on off on one. Oh my god, I don't even know. I don't even know. I've not watched Bonafide Hustler's channel for a while, but is Z in this like Swift battle thing? I think that's what's going on. Um, Adam actually said it. It looks like Adam actually said it first. Adam Kelsey said, "Has Ryan sent ads a label badge?" So it looks like it was Adam actually, not quite Peter, but still, Peter got the name first actually. Um, Adam, hope you have your speakers turned to 11. I do have my speakers turned up, or I don't know whether you're talking to me or Adam Kelsey actually. Oh, look at ads all clear and in focus. I know. Well, it's a bloody expensive webcam, so I better hope it's all right. Let me know. And I tell you what, it took me an age to get it set up. I had to install this driver thing that you have to do, and all. I don't know. I didn't even know that you had to install the software before you install the hardware. So I just installed the hardware, and then nothing was coming up on OBS. Well, it was coming up, but it would give me a blank screen. And then I ended up realizing you have to install the software, which is called a driver or something, to get it properly working. So I didn't know how to do that for about 2 hours. I was flicking around with the settings on OBS for 2 hours, trying to think why isn't this working. But yeah, it's all cool now. It's all cool. It was actually on a good discount as well. It's the Logitech C920, I think it is. A lot of other YouTube resellers use this webcam, which is quite nice because then you get some sort of uniformity or consistency between all of our live streams in terms of the webcam quality. But yeah, it was on a good deal. I think it was like originally 90 quid or something, and on Amazon it was about 52, 53 quid I got it for. So really good deal, but it's an expensive webcam, for what it is really. But I suppose you get higher, even higher value ones, but it's quite a lot to spend on a webcam. If it was like fully 90 quid, a full retail, that'd be quite a lot for a webcam. Considering basically I only use it once a week as well, so that's like 52 times a year. And I suppose it's quite a lot, but it's not like mega frequently. It's not like I'm using it every day. Um, right, I think I'm going to go back down the chat because I can't see anything up the chat here. Um, do, do, do. Where do people know if I'm going to do? Hi, Lex. Who else is it? Oh, Lex Oliver is in the chat. Hi there. What's today's theme then? Today's theme was, well, I talked about briefly emotions in reselling because last week it was meant to be the topic for last week. However, I actually changed the title because I ended up just going off on a complete ramble and not doing the topic. So yeah, I talked briefly. Well, maybe not quite briefly, but I talked a little bit at the start of the video, maybe for 10 minutes or so, on emotions in reselling. And I don't know whether anyone else sort of jumped in the chat. I'm not sure. Maybe I missed a few comments, but yeah, I talked a little bit about emotions in reselling, whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, whether you should, put your emotions out there in reselling in deals and things like that, or whether you should keep, poker face, whether you should be, unemotive in what you do, whether that be eBay. Well, I didn't actually talk about eBay messages, but whether that be on eBay messages and things like that. And actually, that comes into another side of it as well. Like, in terms of your eBay messages, is it good to be more of a human, more emotional, or is it good to be more of maybe less of a human and a little bit more calm, a little bit more logical? And again, with that point, I would probably say it needs to be more logical, calm, respect, all that sort of, give the customer a lot of respect. However, that doesn't mean to say that emotion can't come into eBay messages in the sense of just being kind and being happy towards people and, being apologetic, or, all these different things that define us as human or define us as being flesh and blood. So yeah, I think that it does have to come into your messages somewhat, but not to the point of you being angry at a customer. You should never do that. You should be very calm. I mean, you can hint at being a little bit firm, but you should never take it to being angry or anything like that. if they're giving you personal insults, or they're swearing or anything like that, take it straight to eBay. eBay will deal with that customer in the correct way, but don't you retaliate with, effing and blinding or whatever. So, keep that side of emotion at bay, and be respectful to the customer. So again, you've got to play it how you see fit, but also make sure that you are adhering to these eBay policies and stuff. But as I say, it doesn't mean that emotion can't come into eBay messages completely, but it has to be done in the correct way. So Zahir's in the chat. I try to be professional in messages, but with a personal touch, so we know a person has replied, not a machine with a generic response. Very, very true. I do the good old best regards, and sometimes I'll, in the language I'm using, I will be a little bit more, as you say, a little bit more human and not generic kind of, just robotic kind of words in there that are very generated responses type thing. I like to show them that actually my business is about being human, is about being, having a good experience, and it's not some big corporation or anything that just responds to you in a robotic way, or in a very computer generated way. So yeah, it's a very good point actually. Where else are we? Question: how many items have you got on eBay and Amazon? Between eBay and Amazon, I've got 1250 odd on eBay, and then I've got about 250 to 300 on Amazon, about maybe 250 on Amazon. So around that 1,500. And to be honest, for about the last, I don't know, 12 months, maybe something like that, I've been hovering around that 1,500 between both platforms. Seems to suit me quite nicely. I might be tempted to push my eBay a little bit more, to be honest. I did say a few weeks ago that I'm not actively trying to build inventory. I don't really see much point in having thousands and thousands of items on. If I've got like a really low sell through or whatever, I'd rather, to me personally, I'd rather have fewer items on, but a better sell through rate. And it's not to say any other business model is wrong, it's just a different business model. But certainly, I don't think I would like particularly to have 5,000, 10,000 plus items on eBay. The reason for me is actually I would get very overwhelmed with the amount of items I have and the amount of items I need to store. I'm not very organized in storing items. So I think that if I had 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, I personally, for my personality, wouldn't be able to organize and store them in the most effective way. So I would rather have fewer items with a higher sell-through rate and just keep to that really. But do I want to grow my eBay a little bit more? Maybe I do. However, in the process of growing it, I will actually be looking at my inventory and taking more items off and rebundling items and stuff like that. So I won't actually end up growing it that much more, because I'm going to be taking old items off to replace them with new items or different ways of bundling. So in a way, I'll probably end up not going really much more than 1,500. I can't see me going any more than that really, but I don't know. It really depends. Different things come into play. Different things happen over the course of time, and you can never really predict where you're going to be in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 4 years. You can have a great idea, and I have very, very detailed plans of where I want to be, but at the same time, just detailed plans in my mind, not necessarily even wrote down, but I know where I want to be. I know details of what I want to do, how I want to do it, all that sort of stuff, because I go through them in my mind every day. I think about them, and I try and sort of, like this wishful thinking, or making things, bringing things into existence. And I just keep thinking about them because that's what I want to do, and that happiness, along with hard work and that envisionment of my dreams, will hopefully sort of pull them into existence a little bit more. But certainly you don't know where you're going to be, so it could mean that in a year or so Amazon might not be much more, much of a platform for me. I might not sell much on there. I might not sell on there at all. Or vice versa. I might go over completely to Amazon. I don't know. But whichever one happens, it's going to directly impact the store or the platform that I'm choosing to neglect when I focus on something else. So, things will change. Whether that means my eBay store is going to grow, whether it means my eBay store is going to go down over time, I don't know. But it's exciting to see. Right then, would you do the? Oh, I think you just joined to the here there. Peter is. Question. There we go. Just another question coming from Peter A. Add what's up with the hat? The hat. This is a You mean this like numbers hat? It's a yeah. It's like a. I don't know whether you. One sec. There we go. Right. It's like a. I only put it on because my hair's a complete mess. But yeah, it's like a numbers hat. So I got this up in the Lake District actually. I probably told you this story before. I don't know, but I got this up in the Lake District. It was in like an actual hat shop. I think it's the only ever hat shop I've been in like that just sells hats. Like pretty much just hats. And I remember walking in, and if I went back there now, I would spend so much more money than I did back then because I was only about 15 when I went there, and I there was loads of hats. So there was so many really nice hats. Well made, good quality. There was eccentric ones. There was leather ones. There was colourful ones. There was ones with feathers in. Loads of different ones. And I think I got this. I'm pretty sure I did get this one from there, and there might have been one more. I've got quite a few hats, so I always forget which stories relate to which hats. But I'm pretty sure this was from the Lake District. And I went in and saw this one. This was actually outside on a revolving, like them DVD revolving things that you get in charity shops. It was kind of like that, but for hats. And I saw that and I thought, yeah, I've got to have that one. That's really cool. And I don't know. I don't think I ever really wore hats in high school, like, because I don't even know whether I was allowed to. But I do remember wearing this one time on when it was like a non-uniform day. So it might have been in college. It might have been college actually, but I remember people saying, "Oh, that's a cool hat and stuff." But it is. I like the numbers on it. It's very interesting. No, it was in college actually because I wore this when it was my accounting exam. I was doing what was it now? It was like a accounting essay. I had to do balance sheet, cash flow forecast, profit and loss. We were given figures and stuff. I ended up getting a really good percentage on that exam. I'm not putting it down to the hat. Obviously I worked hard to get that percentage, but I wore this hat because I thought this is a numbers hat. Maybe some of the numbers will bleed into my brain, and then I might be awesome with numbers while I'm doing the exam. But yeah, so that's a little story for you there. But it's a lovely little hat actually. This one. So we shall get on. See who else is in here. I think that's all the questions answered for once. I mean, oh, sorry, Peter, you actually asked that before. Sorry, I missed that question. So how do people know about Tom Jackson, Forge Your Own Path? I know about Tom because of Celtic Traders. He's always in their live chat. So, and also on the Celtic Traders Facebook group. So yeah, I like Tom, and he seems really nice in the interview as well. It seems like he's got a really cool setup as well. All his office and stuff, and he's doing really, really well for himself. So I know about him from Celtic Traders. So that's that one. Let me have a look, see if there's any. I think that's about it for questions. So if anyone else has any more questions, I'm actually so happy that I've answered all the questions. Hey, hi everyone. Haven't caught an ad chat for ages. That was going further up the chat. Lex Oliver said that. Love a bank holiday. I love a bank holiday, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like my local car boot's going to be on. I went on a Facebook page and a few people were, posting in there, commenting on the post and stuff, saying, will there be a double car boot, on Sunday and the Monday for this bank holiday? And they were saying we're going to make a decision later on in the week when we, can assess what the weather's going to do. They also said that the field is quite waterlogged and stuff as it is, so it doesn't look like it's going to be on. But I'm going to be positive until they actually say that it's not going to be on. If they say to us on Friday or whatever, or Saturday, it's on for both days, I'm going to be down there straight away on Sunday morning and the Monday morning, and hopefully I'll get some good stuff. But it's such a shame with this weather because I mean, it feels like such a long winter, you know, because I've not been to an outdoor car boot in so long, and it would really make my week this week if we did have those two on, you know, on both a Sunday and a Monday. Because obviously I don't want to miss a bank holiday weekend for car boots because you can always do two car boots. Now, in the height of summer, I like on another one of the bank holidays. I would like to actually fit in about 4 car boots between the 2 days, so 2 each day. Because I don't think I've ever done like 4 car boots in one weekend before. So I think the most is maybe 2 or 3. Um, so yeah, that'd be really cool if I could fit 4 in over, you know, the Sunday and a Monday and a bank holiday. But doesn't look like it'll be this one either because the other car boots haven't really. There's not that many around near me actually, but they haven't really started yet either. So it's a bit annoying really. But I know there's one at the end of April. There's another indoor one on the 15th of April. And obviously, my local one will be starting up very soon as the weather is okay. But it's a bit annoying for a bank holiday, you know. But we'll see. We'll see. It might start up. Might start up. Um, right then. We'll just go down a bit further. Question from Adam Kelsey: what's the worst thing that SibK has asked you on your live chats? The worst thing is, has Q4 changed? You ask me that every blooming week. Um, Oh, question. Have you missed Ryan today? I actually thought he was in the chat, so I couldn't really miss him because I actually thought he was in the chat anyway. So, uh, but no, I haven't missed him. Why would I miss him? It's a bit odd. I mean, it's only not been in one chat. If he wasn't in like 5 chats or something, then I'd be getting a bit worried. Like, oh, where's Ryan? You know, but it's only not been in one chat. Um, if Ryan, what is all these questions related to Ryan? We've had 3 of them today already. If Ryan was at a car boot sale, would he be an outdoor car boot or an indoor? Would he be at an indoor? Would he be an indoor car boot or an outdoor car boot? That's funny, actually. That's a weird one. I would say he'd probably be more of an outdoor car boot kind of person, but I don't know. Maybe he'd be more of an indoor car boot because he does a lot of clothes, doesn't he? And sometimes, like with the outdoor car boots, some people put clothes on the floor and they end up getting messed around and all this. So might even get a bit dirty or whatever. So maybe he's more of an indoor car boot kind of guy. With that being said, right then, Fudge Own Pass says just rejoined, had to shoot out. Left the video playing and heard my surname. Yeah, surname? What do you mean surname? Did I say your surname? I don't even know where I said your surname. I said forge your own path anyway. Oh yeah, Tom Jackson. That was it. Yeah. I might have said it. Yeah. So we were just having a chat about someone said, "Where do you know Tom from?" or something. How do you know about Tom or something? And I just said Top Celtic Traders because I know you're in a lot of their live chats. I'm being offered up to Nick and Z. Gosh darn it! Oh my god. Right then. You're giggling like a schoolgirl with a crusher. What do you mean? I'm not. What? What do you? What? You're on about Ryan. You're on about Ryan. I'm not giggling like a school. See, now you're setting me off. I can't not do it now. God. Oh, you're so annoying. Because now, see, if you say that you're giggling, then I'm just gonna giggle. You know what I'm like. So no, I'm not giggling like a schoolgirl with a crush. Oh god, I've not heard that one for a while. Tom cause ads met Celtic traders. Yeah, well actually Tom cause ads met. Right then, let's see. I don't think there's anything else in there. How are we doing for time? We've got about 5-10 minutes left. Well, the countdown clock and Rachel Riley. What more could ads want? What is going on in there? Did the hat? Oh, right. Did the hat come with Rachel Riley? No, it didn't. No, unfortunately, the hat did not come with Rachel Riley. That's what you're on about. Okay, I get it. Here we go. Question from Hitman UK. Has Peter won an Easter egg for guessing the badge? Oh yeah. Well, I wasn't prepared for prizes. I wasn't prepared for prizes, but no, I was thinking the other day actually. I'll need to do another giveaway at some point soon. I know, obviously, soon we'll be hitting 125 episodes, but I mean, is that really worth a giveaway? 150, yeah, But 125, it's like, you know what I might do for 125? I might get someone on, I might get a guest on, whether that's in the person, in person, or whether that's, just getting them on the live hangout. I don't know, but I might get a guest on for 125, and then I might do a giveaway for 150. But no, with no Easter eggs as far as I'm aware. Right then, I'll just quickly go down the chat. All right, I think a question. Why are you blushing? For God's sake, Simk, what are you on about? Must have turned the central heating up. Southwest Seller says. Oh, great. Oh, it's gone to pop now, and everyone's just saying it's gone now. All the reselling related questions are absolutely out the window now. When are you gonna get another car to keep Electra another cat to keep Electra company? I did ask my mum if we could get a boy cat, obviously, but she didn't. I don't think she's that taken on the idea. I mean, we have a lot of cats around here. Next door, we actually got Electra off, next door, and they've got, I don't know, 6 or 7 cats. Obviously, they had a litter, so I think about 3 of the 5, they had 5 kittens. 3 of the 5 went, 2 of them went to one home, and then one Electra went to us. But then they kept 2, and they've had like they've got another 3 on top of that, something 3 or 4 on top of that. So yeah, we have a cat who is a male come around here. A cat who is a male. It sounds really weird. I don't even know how to describe the gender of a cat, but basically a boy cat comes around here every now and then called Alfie, who is next door's cat, and he sees Electra. They always have a play together or whatever, and he always ends up eating a little bit of a food. Sometimes he sneaks in and gets into a food bowl, but yeah, he comes on, and I like Alfie. He's got a really nice temperament. I think that's how you say it, or personality or whatever. But yeah, he's nice. So she has a lot of company with the other cats, although I take it that she doesn't get on that well with some of them. She's fighting a lot with her brother. Her brother's called Theodore. And she fights a lot with him, but it's only play fighting and stuff. But she does have a little scrap with him, and she doesn't like one of the older cats as well. But I tell you what, she is a right little hunter. She had 2 in one day the other day. I think it was Friday. She had 2 mice, or well, my grandma said when she looked at them they were voles. Because my grandma came around on the same day when we were outside, but she said there were voles, like small little voles, but I don't know. I don't know if they were mice or like field mice or voles or something. But she had 2 on that day, and then yesterday she had a mouse outside at about 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then she came in, and then she saw a fly on the windowsill, and within 20, 30 seconds she had that. She's hunting everything at the moment. It's crazy. Adam, I have not mentioned the cabinet so far today. Oh, go on then, Ads. How is your cabinet doing? I did say I was going to check, didn't I? And I've not even checked. I am checking this weekend, though. I did say last Thursday I was going to go on the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday I was busy doing something that you will see now. Monday I was busy prepping all my parcels, doing all that in preparation for Tuesday, and just getting as much work done as I could. Sunday I don't even know what I was doing. I honestly haven't a clue what I did Sunday. And then Saturday I went into town and I did a few other bits and bobs. But all I remember is that I didn't have time to go to my cabinet. So I have made some time this weekend. I'm gonna go probably go on Sunday or Monday. Oh no, wait, will it be open? I'm hoping it'll be open actually, but I've got to go this week actually because I've got to pay for my cabinet rent for the next time because it's actually going to be April. So I'll have to go then. I've got to actually that's something I can do tomorrow. I need to stick up and price up my items for the cabinet. I've got a box full of items that I've amassed while I've been sorting through the auction boxes. So I need to price up, label up that, which I was gonna do last week. I know I mentioned and I didn't do it. So I need to do that. Then I can get off down there. Maybe Sunday, Monday if it's open. I don't know. If not, it's gonna have to be Tuesday and then get down there, sort all that out. I need to ask about getting a booth as well, or a unit, or whatever you want to call it, and get on the waiting list for that. That's something I need to do. But I actually want to go down on one of the days that the woman who organizes it all there. So then I can actually speak to her properly about it. Because if I speak to one of the staff members there, well, they can put me on the list and stuff, but I want to talk to the woman who is a bit more involved with it. So then I can get a few questions answered and things like that. So I need to do that. Um, always work to be done, and I always seem to, when it comes to the cabinet, I always seem to, that is like the last thing on my mind. I've got Amazon, I've got eBay, and they're like my things that I'm trying to do constantly, or trying to get stock for constantly, with in the case of Amazon. And then my cabinet I just forget about for most of the month these days. um right then, so I think I will leave it there because we're not far off the hour. I don't think that anyone else has got any questions. It looks like Peter's got to go, so I will see you in the next live chat, Peter. Oh, I'm thinking actually before I go, oh, Sib K's got to go as well. So see you next time, Sib K. I was thinking also, before I go, what would you guys think about me doing a live research video? So I'll do one of them, and then if I get a decent response, then I'll obviously might make them more regularly, make them more regularly, make them more regular. I'll make them more regular. I think it's regular, not regularly, because that sounds a bit too far. But anyway, if I have a good response to the first one, I'll do them more regular. But what I'm meaning is, basically, now I've got my new webcam, OBS should be okay. So I should be able to do a few more live streams. And I'm thinking what I'll do is, when I'm sorting through these job lots, I'll pick out some of the nicer items, let's say, and then maybe pick out 5 or 10, and then I come on, we do a screen capture, obviously, and I show you the items first off, then we go into the screen capture, and then we research them together. And I think that's going to be really good, because for one, it's going to gain people a lot of knowledge, and then they can look back on those videos in a few weeks time or whatever, and they can see, oh right, not necessarily that these go for this money, but also because prices change all the time. But if I can somehow work into it a little bit about the item, about actually information about the item, then that'll be really good, because then those videos will hold up long term. If I'm just talking about prices solely, prices change, and then if someone watches that video in a year, they're going to think that something's worth one thing when it's actually not worth that anymore. So I think I will emphasize price a little bit, and current price, but also I'll try and work in a little bit of information about the item and stuff like that. But I think that could work really well, and I think it could be quite an informative video, an informative live stream. So I might do that. Whenever I get 5 minutes, it'll probably just be like a spur of the moment, what do we call it, an impromptu kind of live stream. But if it works well, I might end up setting a time and date for that. If I set a time and date, I might do one it might actually set it the time to be in the evening rather than the day, so then I catch more people who are maybe at work, because obviously I know a lot of people can't catch Thursday Talks live because of doing work or whatever. So I might change that to do that stream in the evening, so then more people can catch it. But anyway, I won't ramble about that any longer. Oh, Adam says, who would you rather meet for lunch, Sib K and be constantly asked about Q4, or Gary and be constantly asked about the cabinet? I don't know. That's a very hard one. I probably would get more annoyed more quickly with the Q4 one, so probably Sib K. I mean, I would rather meet Gary. I wouldn't rather meet Sib K because of the question of the Q4. So, yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. If you did enjoy it, you know what to do. Hit the like button, as always. And I will be back very soon for another video. Well, actually, I will be back tonight with a very special video. I will actually be posting it in one of the groups as well, one of the Facebook groups, so then, as many people can view it as possible, because I know that maybe a few people might be excited about it. So, yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. And here we go. We have the awkward little bit where we try to stop the stream. Right, see you soon.